My name is Baille Parker, and I'm the label manager for Anticon.
I'm Alias from Anticon. Produce, also do vocals, but mostly production. Doing music for myself and Soul and a few other people in Anticon. Well, I've been involved from the beginning. When we started, the main project that started Anticon was the Deep Puddle Dynamics album, which we recorded in 1998, and that was like the first project that we did that kind of drew everybody together and kind of gave them the idea that we could kind of band together and do something. And we were gonna try and put that out, like try and shop it to major labels, but we decided to use that as like a kind of like a launching pad or whatever. But that actually didn't get put out first. The first thing that got put out was a compilation, which we put together after we recorded the Deep Puddle album. And that was all in 99 and 98 was when we all kind of got together. But yeah, that's when I came aboard, or I've been there from the beginning, but Baille came on later on. You want to tell them?
Sure. Yeah, I moved out here in 1999 to San Francisco, and saw these guys perform as Deep Puddle, and was just blown away and wanted to get involved. And so I used to just, I don't know, I started keeping in touch with Soul, met him at one of the shows. They used to do a monthly here at a club called Rico's, and it was sort of the start of, Anticon moving to the Bay Area and doing their shows and kind of creating a little bit of a scene here. So I started showing up to the monthlies and meeting these guys and getting to know them. And I actually started working at a company in the Bay Area, the Anticon distributor at the time. So I started working there and got involved in that way. And then at one point we sort of moved. Things weren't working out very well with that distributor, so we started our own record distribution company. So I was working with Tim and a couple other people on running that business, and then it was great because we were selling. I mean, we got our name. We got sort of to know a lot of the indie stores on a very personal level, and which I think actually was really good for the label. Just having like a direct connection with a lot of these stores, but at the same time, we couldn't get the coverage that we needed, and we started dealing with having to pay people, and it was just doing the distribution thing was kind of a nightmare. So I worked out deals with Revolver and another distributor here and Southern in Europe, and from there we closed down the old little distribution company, and I started running Anticon.
Basically, when we decided to start, it was because when we were the hip hop or whatever, the music we were doing, we considered to be hip hop, but it was obviously different than the hip hop that was already out there. And a lot of record labels just were not interested in us at all. They thought that the stuff we were doing was too weird, and so we just thought that instead of trying to chase all these other record companies, that we could try and kind of start our own and see what would happen. And eventually kids, this was all around the time when like the .com, like the computers were, like the internet, like downloading and all that was starting to come into play. And so we kind of ran with that too. We put up a lot of music for free on our websites, and eventually like kids just started, we would do shows. Like I moved out here in '99, and we would do shows and perform these songs that we hadn't even released on like an actual CD or record, but kids already knew the words and they were singing along. So it was, we kind of felt that we had something that we could go with and run with, and eventually like we just kept doing more and more music and kept trying to do more shows, and people just kept listening. So we were lucky in that aspect, I guess. But it would have to be on our terms. It would have to be very specific, I think, and everybody would have to agree to it. I don't think that one person would be able to say yes and then it would happen. I think everybody that's involved with Anticon, because it is a artist-run collective, and Baille is also part of that. I don't think any one person would be able to say yes, and so it would have to be very specific. And I don't know. I highly doubt any major label would be willing to come to our terms or whatever. So I don't know. Oh, the name Anticon comes from a few different things. Pedestrian and Soul were the ones who kind of came up with the name. It means like anti-conformity, anti-conventionalism. It meant a bunch of different things. Like we were just trying to kind of go against the grain and try something different musically. But now it's kind of, I don't know if any of us really view it that way. I mean, we're not like trying to do different music anymore. Like we just kind of do music and it comes out the way that it comes out. And I don't know, it's weird. Like now it's kind of become a point of reference for, I've seen it used as a point of reference by journalists and just like music people in general, like saying that it sounds like Anticon, which is kind of flattering that people would say that we have our own sound. But yeah, I don't, that's where it kind of started, from anti-conventionalism and anti-conformity, and but I don't know, it's kind of turned into this different thing now. It's weird.